Eventually.
Cable 10, Aurora, Illinois Community Access Channel.
Let's get weird, buddy. Let's get weird.
Okie dokie.
Where are we?
Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from.
Welcome to the Outer Rim. Enjoy your stay.
Okie dokie.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Sugar Bombs, the only cereal you have to eat quickly before the milk turns solid from sugar.
Oh, nice.
All right. First video of 2026.
Very good. Very appropriate.
Except it's not showing up very good on here. Is it? And it's not fitting right on my head right now. There we go. Yes, I wanted to start 2026 pretty dramatically, I guess. And, no, I can't get more dramatic really than Magneto.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving it on. I just wanted to
just be fading in and out through the whole video, unfortunately.
Yeah, fading in and out. Hi everybody, welcome back to my little channel out here on the outer rim of YouTube with my friend compadre, as always, Darrin Jaques from D's Reviews. Hey
everybody, very excited to be here. Just loving, man, I am loving this show so much. Just every week just brings a smile to my face. So yeah, lots of fun stuff to dive into tonight. Oh, and happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, happy. It's another day down the line, one day closer to something hopeful, maybe eventually.
There you go. Aim for the positive down the road.
I wish I could say look, technically we've got around 3 years left. So we are 25% in. It could be sooner.
Sure.
It's like being in prison. You have 4 years. You might get out earlier.
Right.
But it won't be because of good behavior though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think, unfortunately, I feel a little odd the fact that we are doing Fallout while having this discussion because, much like Robert House, I do not doubt that there are some people who might want to accelerate issues in order to heighten emergency states, and this show is feeling just way too appropriate right now.
Oh yeah. This is my favorite episode so far of the season.
Sure. Oh yeah, agreed.
I feel like there is so much. There's full spoilers, by the way, and of course, like and subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. But first, we got to talk about today's sponsor. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to stop talking so that I suddenly go, oh, by the way, Whoppers. That's just what I have next to me here. I have some malted milk balls, but no. We will run into tangents. We will take flights of fancy. It could be some rants, but we will never stop to talk about a sponsor because. Honestly, I don't want sponsors. I don't want to have to suddenly go, hey, yeah, I use a Ridge wallet. I don't fucking give a fuck about. Anyway, Fallout.
Fallout, yes.
Episode 3, The Profligate, which was a weird word for me to learn today. So I did learn something today, and on the first day of 2026, I found myself getting educated on the word profligate, recklessly extravagant or wasteful in the use of resources. Okay, And apparently that's what Lucy is to Macaulay Culkin. But before we get to old Mac, we've got more things to talk about. So, I mean, just general impressions. You said that this is like I said, I love this episode. This episode this is going to be one of those quotable episodes. This episode is full of philosophies and lines that are just like, to me, when they look back on the show and they start clipping things together, this episode has lots of key things to go to, especially for like recaps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of just really memorable lines in this episode. And it's maybe one of the ways to keep the budget down is you don't have to keep your guest stars around very long in the Fallout universe. Michael Emerson showed up in the first season and I was so excited. I was like, yes, he fits perfect in this universe. He's dead before the episode's over. And it's like, okay, that's what this show is. Okay. All right. Don't get attached. But like, not even like The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? Like, this is like, or Game of Thrones, people, or Sopranos, people sit around watching for whole seasons to find out who's going to bite it. In Fallout, it happens every episode.
Yeah. No, they don't, they don't waste time with anything. They use stuff to the point, and then, if you want to make a statement, get a good actor, get somebody that's going to make an impression with the audience, use them well, and then move on. It's like you can use those for your bigger actors, and your older character actors are, the heads of the Brotherhood sections and stuff like that. Their casting choices really are just totally top notch.
And I'm really liking, finally, it's taken a while for me to like Maximus more, but I still have some issues with the way that they deal with his character, and we'll get into all of that and more.
Sure.
Starting with our kids sweatshop. That honestly, it's like that's like the best sweatshop. If you're gonna work at a sweatshop, that's the one to work at.
Come on, kids, we're only 12 hours into our 22 hours, 10 hours left to go on our shift. Yay!
How many hours of sleep do you think a kid really needs?
They're not a whole lot. They're active.
Something to keep in mind, folks.
I don't know how ghoul kids are in regards to regular kids and their,
Well, okay, so I love what this scene says, though. I mean, yes, we're catching up to this guy, but like, it's in this world, what he's doing is very almost sweet in this weird, twisted way.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's like when people go like, where's the nice parts of this world? You're looking at it. Like, this is about as nice as it gets. And it's still unacceptable. But it's like, at the same time, most kids would be dead by this age now. Like...
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like just be grateful you got something is the message of this particular sweatshop, which is hilarious because they are like quite literally printing money.
Yep.
As Nuka-Cola bottle caps are the money of the wasteland, and this appears to be I couldn't figure out if it was a factory, if this was stored stuff that they were just pulling things off, or yet it was making the soda and then they were pulling the caps after it was all made. I wasn't entirely sure. I didn't really care because it's just, it's a sweatshop with kids that's literally printing money.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, they're taking bottle caps off of things. It's not like they're making fucking, they're not making these.
Sure.
Right?
They
seem happy.
Shift, but,
I don't think that this show is trying to defend child labor.
No.
But those kids seem happy.
Well, he actually seems to care about them in his own, the
way he speaks. Yeah, the way he speaks, it's kind of like, you're not making me any money right now. But we're not seeing him smack anybody around or anything. He's talking to him like, to me, what we didn't see is the creation of this. And I like that that's just another thing. And I don't want him for us to know how he did it.
Yeah, don't need to know that. That would
You
be
know,
worse.
leave it the way it is. Like in the game, you just stumble upon things that have a story already going on. You walk in on somebody else doing their thing in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like in the real world, you walk up and people are just like in the middle of their thing. And it's just, anyway, I really liked that this was kind of like, he knows how to talk to kids. He probably he could have easily just been like, okay, where are all these kids coming from, first off? But like, I would like to think that he saw some and then just took them all in, and like maybe he needed this, maybe he saw opportunity, but there's like a lot of effort going into this little business he has. But anyway, I just thought it was really good, and it pays off in the end.
Very much so.
What a cool payoff. Like, I really should have seen it coming, but I didn't at all, because I was so invested in what was going on with one of the other stories that I didn't see how they were going to connect.
Well, and we're used to getting sometimes just like little bits, little introductions that come in later on. You know, it's like, oh, that's what this guy's doing. We had dealt with him before. This is where he's going. We'll see where he connects up later on. But yeah, how that happens, completely unexpected.
It's probably one of the reasons why I really like this episode is how much of like New Vegas stuff is in this episode, because we get to meet, the Legion, a bunch of weirdos hanging out in camps that can't quite figure out who they represent. Are they Romans? Are they Germans? Like, they want to look like they're Roman legionnaires, but they don't know all the history of it. It's kind of just like they pieced it together, kept the things that they wanted, and just made up their own little weird society mishmash of men. And it's all just men, by the way. Like, if you look around, it's just a bunch of guys.
Oh yeah. Well, and it is very much almost like somebody came across a book or some picture thing, because yeah, they don't know how to pronounce Caesar, so they pronounce it Kaiser, which makes it sound more German, which is, and I love the little language stuff that Lucy has been doing with, oh, I understand Latin's good, and why you choosing, you get to see her education. But yeah, it's so much like, oh, here's a look we like. Let's just take it over without really understanding anything about it. Outside of it gives you an excuse to fight and, lord over people.
And then showing just how cruel this world is. Lucy used her stim pack on a woman that they just murder immediately in front of her.
Total waste of a stim pack.
It was the right decision at the time. Not just more, like story-wise, but it was just the right call. Like, she made the right call. It wasn't really that personal towards the ghoul. But to just see it like that, and then there's a head on a spike, and she's as horrified and angry as she has at least learned enough to navigate the situation as best she can. She's still learning because she ends up on a cross. But like this, just being on a cross was probably the, again, best possible scenario for her in that camp when they're talking about, prima noctis and shit, which is it. Prima noctis was when the governor or whoever was in charge of a territory or a section of whatever would be able to have sex with the girl before marriage, right?
No, on their marriage night. Prima nocta, first night.
On their first night. So they don't even understand what that means, because nobody's married to her. It's so off that they don't like. But I think one of the interesting things though is that while we're goofing on them, it also kind of shows how things can be just literally lost in history, so that so much time goes by, you do mix things up. Like, how many things do we think we know because we've been told it for a long, long time, but we really don't know. There's, like, it's like the Washington and the cherry tree kind of thing, like.
Well, even if you start to look at like language, English in particular, English is such a mashup of so many different languages in Norwegian and Celtic and Romans and Romantic languages. And it just steals and tacks. And very often we gather phrases that we don't even know what the meaning of them is anymore because we've taken and reinvented and we've just, again, what I love as Americans, so much of in our culture is like for phrases, we all know the beginning part, but we don't forget the reminder part. It's like, curiosity killed the cat. Like, well, and satisfaction brought him back. There's a continuation onto these things. It's was like jack of all trades, but master of none. Still often succeeds over a master of one. Is the rest of that phrase, but we always like stick to that beginning part, even like the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Ugh. We take that as a challenge when in reality it's describing an impossible feat that you can't do.
Now,
we just adapt it.
God, I really love I love these conversations. This is just the best. I love it so much. Before we get into the Mac of it all, though, it's an interesting place, this camp. There are two camps in one because we've lost their leader who is in this like zone, like let's call it East Germany, West Germany.
Yeah, he's in no man's land.
No man's land here in the middle where they could find out who he named to succeed them, but when one side starts to shoot at the other one. So no one wants to sacrifice themselves or take even just getting wounded, right? They're shooting. That doesn't mean they're going to hit you, but nobody wants to risk it. So they just sit back and they've been waiting and fighting and just dicking around out there in the middle of nowhere where that's not sustainable, but that's their predicament right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so okay. Look, this was one of my most fun things to do. Okay, because again, sure. Fallout New Vegas really made me feel like that just RPG puppeteer. I was playing all sides. All sides.
Yeah.
Man. I was like they would tell you, okay, if you're with this group of people, you can't hurt that group of people. It's like the mafia, right? They're made people over there. There's some leeway in there. You just can't kill that many, and you can't get caught.
Well, see, that's the thing,
So I became this like just subterfuge master. That's why I loved it, because I was like, if I could do this in my real life, I'd be Lex Luthor. Right? I would be Kaiser Soze if I could do shit like this. And I remember like just having all these strings just everywhere. And I knew that at some point in the game, I was going to have to cut them. But I wanted to see how far I could get. I mean, I pulled it until there really was no other moves.
That's actually where I am in Fallout 4, where I stopped, is I am at the choice where I found the was it the scientists or whatever. And the point where you actually have to start choosing a faction, because you do one thing and it goes against the other. And I had tried so long to stay in the middle ground to maximize everything that I'm like, I don't want to choose. And that was like 4 years ago. I still have a save file I haven't picked up. So,
but
I totally hear where you're at. That's the fun. I was going to say, but that's kind of the fun thing about this is, what you get is a whole, and I thought it would be more, but I like that they didn't lean into it. The whole fistful of dollars idea. Oh, you got two warring factions here. Let's see how we can play them against each other. They kind of cut through it, but you had that total Western feel of that with these Legionnaires, which was just, again, wonderful genre mixing.
Oh, yeah. So long story short, though, for my like game part of this, and there's more game stuff to talk about, but like when I knew I had to make a move somewhere that was gonna bring it all down. Oh, so many hours and just I don't even know how many hours I played. I mean, actually, well, I could probably find out, but it's on some profile somewhere.
Sure.
But I chose because I was thinking of who did I hate the most in this game. Like who were the ones that I like in our video game fantasy world did I want to take out the hardest? And it was the Legion. And since I was good with pretty much everyone, I think there might have been one group out there that was like, if we ever see him, he's done. But I walked right up into camp. And I mean, I walked right up to Caesar and I just ended it. Like everything went crazy at that moment. I just took him. I was just like, I'm done listening to this fucker. And just that was the moment I chose to like blow the whole game up and like cause the end game to happen. Just walking in there, and that's such a great like watching this I had forgotten. So like this brought that memory back up and just that feeling that you get in these games. And that's kind of like what I like about part of what happens, like what you said, with the two sides pitted against each other. In the game, you could probably like they're basically showing kind of a thing that would happen in the game.
Oh, yeah.
You go in and then you're walking away and kaboom, your thing that you did, that you set up, suddenly pays off. And that's just so... Dude who create what's his name? Jonathan Nolan again, and I don't remember the other person.
Lisa Joy.
The fact that they're throwing all these things in there, knowing what that is. Because even there's going to be gamers who don't even pick up on that's gaming. We're watching gaming in a show, essentially, in these scenes.
To me, that was kind of the really fun thing about this particular episode is it had so many game moments, and I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on it because it's a small little bit. The whole New California Republic bit.
Yeah.
Total side quest. Hey,
yeah.
We're trapped out here. Can you tell these people over here that we still exist? Here, we'll give you a couple of things for it. I mean, it laid itself so much out. And again, just like that little person, the person who's playing all sides is, yeah, you accept every quest. You accept the payment. Maybe you'll do it. Maybe you won't. Did he tell the Caesar where
maybe
they
he
were?
Will,
and then does he change his mind afterwards because he sees another little alternate thing there are so many like perfect game stuff in here that is just you don't need it if you don't understand it. It totally works. If you do, you get every little bit of this, and it's just fun to go, man, they made the game actually work in a show. Yeah.
Yep. Again, we've lived long enough to see that miracles can happen, folks. Miracles can happen. Can't get free healthcare.
No.
Your game, your show based off a game. Guess what? Gonna have a lot of that game in it. So let's get to it. Macaulay Culkin is revealed to be the person, and I've forgotten that he was in it. Then I realized right before. I was like, oh, there he is, before he turned around. Look, he's not a good actor. I'm just going to say it. It doesn't take away from the show too much, but for this to me is how I took this a little bit to be like when Ed Sheeran showed up on Game of Thrones.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I was like, he's not even, it's like he knew somebody and said, can I be on the show? And they're like, okay, you want to know what? We're going to make you a Legionnaire. We'll make you some guy and you say some lines, and he's going to be in more of it. I know that. But he's just not a very strong actor. And that was a little, the only note I think I have on this episode is that, okay, he's in it. Fine. It's not going to ruin the show. But it is weird.
I think it's one of those things that to me does kind of work because one, It is where you're just like, oh my God, it's Macaulay Culkin. So you get a lot of mileage out of just that. To the fact that he looks so un-Roman soldier-ish actually works with the comedy and the stuff that you're doing. The big tough guy that just cuts off the girl in the big scary mask looks like just some little soft-faced boy, even though he's like in his 40s or something at this point, I think. Is kind of hilarious. I don't know. I was expecting that this would be done with it. I guess if we see more of the Legion, fine. To me, it will depend on how much they lean onto the character. But yeah, this was almost like such a cameo role as it was. It didn't really bother me.
Well, that, the Legion, I don't think is God. I think that'd be too easy. He just, like, again, not to spoil, but what happens at the end, I think is just gonna kind of, when the dust settles, they'll regroup and maybe, good old Mac will be in charge, I guess.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. Like I said, it's not ruining anything for me, but he's not bringing anything to the table either for me.
Oh, no. No.
Like, it's just like, it's kind of like you could have gotten anybody to do that. And it's just such an odd choice. But hey, whatever. I think it's probably just, maybe it's just generational. It's because I can't see him as anything but, like, I've seen him on Red Letter Media, and he's got his own little YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel like Pink Bunny or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
no, look,
all right,
the kid was able to retire at age 14, and now he just shows up when he gets something that he wants to do, and then he just retires again. So, if we could all have that life.
But he does get to say a line that I really like, which is, good is not a meaningful vector in history.
Yes. Well, the one thing other thing that I love so much about this episode is hits exactly on those lines. They deal with so much of motivation. What is good? What is evil? When you have to do bad things, what's your motivation for it? What's the reasoning behind it? I mean, between the flashbacks and what happens here and what Maximus is going through, it is all very much a morality question. And where are the lines when you have so much of a chaotic, horrible existence? You're always making the least worst choice, it seems, most of the time. And I love how this is putting Lucy's morality and her choices of how she was dealing with the ghoul and how she was judging him. It deals with the ghoul dealing with, like, maybe I've got to turn things around and trying a little different. I love his whole Ship of Theseus little conversation with dog meat. And even at the end there, when he makes that choice, you're right. Maybe I did something good. Maybe I did something stupid. We'll just have to find out. And you're right. I think we will have to see consequences off of that, as you do in the game. Yeah. But I love how it is very much, he's not even mad at her in the end of it for betraying her. It's just more of like, well, we got to do the best we can for what we're after. And I love, again, from the makers of Westworld, to be able to play with those same ideas of morality in a longer format. I think Westworld was confined to the reveal of, oh, they're robots, and then you kind of lose that as the show ended up, I think, going off track. With this, you have so many different variations of that. You really get a lot more that you can play with. You got a lot more gray area. And that's sort of what this was all about. How do you navigate that gray area to a way that seems good?
Yeah, there's lots of lesser. It's all, like, again, the very first scene. That's the best case scenario for those kids. The least of the worst things. So each thing we go along, like when she ends up on the cross, that's the better than what was going to happen. there's all these this whole thing talks about that there. And my favorite section of this episode is the flashback section of it, where I mean, okay, he's supposed to go to his friend's thing at the veteran station, the VFW or whatever, and goes there to tell him, that Moldaver wants them to house Mr. House. And I just love this whole thing. He's talking to this guy who's a good guy, and he's still saying, like, yeah, well, throughout it, he's just, he's one man. Like this whole, like, the good you could do by doing this bad thing, this lesser of two, like, like a lesser choice. Like, take him out. How many? It's the Charlie's problem, right? One versus everyone or something like that. But the scene with them in the bathroom, not just that, there's the two parts of it are really good. I mean, because it's like, does he know that that's Robert House? Because he never says.
I don't think he does.
He's already in there waiting for him. So it's just, and Justin's acting, both their acting is so good. His choices on how he's playing Mr. House is very, again, it makes me think of Andrew Ryan from BioShock. It makes me think of Walt Disney. It makes me think of Howard Hughes. All kinds of like big people in their, areas, even though Andrew Ryan from BioShock is, totally fictional. He's that kind of figurehead.
Sure.
And just, he, like, and what is he trying to do here in this scene other than trying to maybe don't kill me? Like, maybe there's something to be done here, because he's got to be in there because he knows that he's been.
Well, that's it. It's like, and that's the wonderful way that he plays him is he is a man with a very clear, committed purpose and design who is also 5 steps ahead of you. Whatever you're thinking, he's already planned. This whole little secret thing that he was just proposed, that Coop was just proposed to do, House already knows about it and who's playing it and how he's going to do it. So yeah, it's a crazy chess game, and he plays it with such beautiful, manipulative. Again, it's like, I know what I'm trying to say, and I know how to hit. So you get this nice sparring back and forth with how Coop's playing to not acknowledge or deal with. And House is just slowly spilling out these ideas and just trapping him and letting him know, like, I'm this weird person you don't know that knows what's going on. And how are you going to respond? It's, yeah. What is your motivation to do things? What is the right thing? What is wrong? I love this bit.
Yeah. And he's only thing that he does wrong really is that he's still a billionaire, a trillionaire. So he doesn't quite understand certain things. So like when he's talking to this guy, like when he brings up, like, like you would know, never talk politics when, in the bathroom when the guy's dick is in his hand. Like there's these like there was a very acey-deucey feeling from Mr. House, whether or not he was even kind of coming on to him.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much there, and I think that makes it uncomfortable because you're constantly asking, what is this guy going for? Nobody is this comfortable without, having some leverage. And I think that was kind of the fun thing about him because, yeah, he's almost seductive. in the way he's bringing things, and he's reiterating these same points that is also hit with the Brotherhood. And what is it that he says? Same problem. Everyone's trying to say the same problem at the same time, but trying different solutions. It's not going to work. It's like it is. He's kind of seductively trying to get Coop to understand, to be on his side. He's priming him for what will probably be a more substantial discussion later on when he knows what's going on. But that's the same thing that Maximus was saying. It's the same thing we find in the Brotherhood. Everybody wants to save the world. They just disagree on how to do it. And House is one of those. It's like, yeah, I know that. So I'm planning to circumvent all of that.
Yeah, again, there's a couple of really like big lines here about the, back one person up into a corner, you don't know what they're gonna do. Back a billion people into a corner, tisk tisk. Like just like I don't like this is what happens when the writing and the actors all clink up. And yeah, that whole idea of what's going on. Like you could say this about our own world, right? I mean, about our world, but they're saying it's true. Of like that everybody has their own idea of how to save the world, but really, most of it always seems to come down to control.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that I think bothers the most people, is that everybody talks about freedom. Why is it that some of you want to control that freedom? Why do you always like, it always feels like these people feel like they have to usher us children into these things, without our permission. I don't know.
No, power does not like freedom because you can't control free things.
Yeah. So our next big part is the Brotherhood of Steel.
Right.
I mean, they've got the cold fusion. I honestly feel like they just got really lucky, and now this guy's got the power. He's to him, the cold fusion's the leverage, and he's ready to start a war. Like he's the most dangerous person, but we don't know what the Commonwealth is capable of either, because we got Xander there, and because of his presence, nobody wants to start a war with the Commonwealth, even though Brotherhood. This is just more game stuff. All the things that are coming down. I really like Kumail Nanjiani in this part, because he hasn't always been the strongest actor, but I think he's getting better. And in this, you really can't look. He's clearly gonna be full of shit in some way, because everyone is.
Right.
So it's not like some special thing where it's like, well, Kumail dropped the ball on his, no, he's really good at making you feel like you don't know if he's just gonna be fine, but you're really just waiting for that other shoe to drop. And when it drops, it's really cool. Like it's really hard because he's selling that side of himself for so long that all of a sudden he flips that switch and it's like, oh shit.
No,
but I really love Maximus's struggle here, where he's dealing with these guys who clearly they just want power. And when you bring up when he's just like, well, let's just kill him. I mean, that's what we do here, right? And then they suddenly turn on you because you're lesser than to them. And you suddenly see that power thing of like, he's a hero, yet I'm the one with the cold fusion, so I can say whatever I want to you. Because you're now getting too close to being on the nose about everything. And when you get too close to the truth, that's when people really start to snap back. When you're calling out their bullshit, their grift.
Well, yeah, and it's also that manipulation is before when it was the two of them and he was getting what he wanted, then you were my son and we were connected, but now that we're in this power room, I can't acknowledge you. This could have been let me tell you why we don't do this. Let me lift you up. But no, it is that stupid Sword doesn't know anything here. We're the clerics, the ones that are in charge, the people, the heads, depending on how they do that. It is extremely dismissive, and I think that's the challenge of Maximus through here is everybody is trying to be his buddy when they want something, but they don't give back and they don't live by the ideals that they throw ahead. I think that's the great bit, is because the cleric Quintus is all talking about, well, it was a righteous thing. What Roger Maxon, who founded the Brotherhood, he saw what was going wrong. The government defiled his God, so he defiled the government, and all of that righteous cause. And so when Maximus asks, well, if our cause is righteous, then we should just go ahead. Oh, no, stupid thing. It's like, you don't even believe the bullshit that you're throwing out there.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically saying do that, but don't do that. They're just playing a game. They're waiting for their moments so that they don't get caught. But it's still going to end in the same place.
Right.
But I did love when the lady's like, I don't go in for the religious stuff. Like, I don't care. Like, what you do out here. And again, it's religion with a legitimate army. But
that's it. Each of the factions just have this is the religious one, and then we have the robot ones, and then we have the cannibal ones over here, and then we have the ones that are ruled by the warriors over there. It's just, you're all just a bunch of, it's all just infighting. None of you actually believe in anything.
Yeah.
And Maximus, as that stunted kid, is still approaching everything like, I just want something to believe in, on something that's right. And all he finds is people that are full of it.
Yep. And it's always like, because then he gets pulled in by Xander, right? He's
sure.
Like, hey, those guys, and this and that, and I'm cool. You're cool, right? And
we could be cool together.
But then so at first it does seem like, okay, he's coming on a little strong, but then he just starts to be kind of feeling like really genuine. And so I was like, I even let my guard down for a minute. Watching it the second time, it was again, he keeps ending up in these grass is always greener situations where he's like, everything he sees is this thing that's on some level looks better than what he has. And I'm not saying that anything he has is good, but it's, again, the lesser. We keep like, I'm going after this because these people are better than you. At least I think they are, because they're telling me things that I want to hear. But everyone's been telling this guy what he like, just to get him to do what they want. He's been a patsy and a pawn throughout this, and getting misinformation. He's being indoctrinated by all kinds of people. He's getting pulled, and that's a big part of a problem. If I have to say that to anyone that indoctrination and shit like this is a problem today, then I have not done my job before. But
right. Well, that's the great thing about that tie back to the VFW scene, and that look, I love Dallas Goldtooth. His data Fred, of course, who was Knife Edge on was it Reservoir Dogs? Young warrior. For anybody that does, freaking love. Every time I see him, that's all I think about. He's freaking awesome. But he tells that whole story of saving Coop, and Coop's plan is not like, what do I look like? That would have been actor Coop. No, it's, what about the other guys? Are they okay? It's that sacrifice. And he goes on to tell the story of, we were told that this was a big thing, and of course we couldn't argue with it, and you're just hoping you find the right side. And I'm sure those people on the other side were told the exact same thing. In the end, if it protects the ones that you love, then I guess that's the one thing, doing something, even something bad. Which is
what's right at him, right? Like,
no, I mean, it's such a perfect thing, and the fact that he gives him the lighter that he still that Ghoul still has with him is freaking awesome. But it's that same kind of idea, is that Maximus is finding in his is, yeah, everybody is telling that their cause is the most righteous and the one that you've got to do and the one that's going to be the safest and that's going to do the most good. Ultimately, you've just got to pick the side that goes, what's going to make you wake up feeling better about yourself tomorrow, or at least not hating yourself tomorrow? And maybe that's the real motivation of what is good or bad in this messed up world.
Two things. Martha Kelly, who's been around for a while with that just kind of drawl that she has.
Mm-hmm.
The person who's giving out the award.
The politician there. Oh, yeah, she was so horrible.
I didn't take any money from anyone, so I can't afford commercials or billboards. But I am, and it's just that way she's always done it, and it's neat. It's her niche. It's her little corner of the universe. Somebody they like her, and they go, "Oh, you know, who'd be really good at this? Let's get Martha Kelly in here." She has almost never done any kind of other thing except her voice work. If you haven't seen her in Common Side Effects on HBO, it's an animated show.
I got it in my list. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, that looks freaking hilarious.
She's one of the voices in that, and she's actually she's a really talented person, and I love her shtick. I love when she doesn't have to completely do that shtick. She was also great on Baskets, that show with Louis Anderson and Zach Galifianakis. The other thing, they gave me this lighter for saving a man's life, not for killing the other three to do it.
Yes. Ooh, that is an underline right there to everything.
Like, here's this thing that is probably they've got boxes of, well, maybe not anymore because it's this part. Well, no, it's not the end of the world yet, but somewhere there's just a bunch of lighters for soldiers, like, hey, we're make sure you take one of these. There's like a couple, just like I wouldn't be surprised if somebody didn't have a couple of extra nearby.
Yeah, it's a step up from the commemorative pen.
The watch.
Yeah.
For retiring. Really loved all of that though, and just him pointing it. Like, I mean, it is kind of coming at that part of the story pretty hard of like, he's gonna kill House, he's gonna kill House, he's gonna kill House. They're coming at it so hard that I don't think he killed House.
Oh, no. I mean, obviously he doesn't, because everybody else thinks that he's still alive and that he plans ahead and all of this stuff. No, it's the idea is that, does he think he kills him?
Well,
is that where he loses his family? Is that what, it's like, how does that come up?
Well, because, and this is another amazing New Vegas moment when they introduced Victor, who I used as a companion a long time in that game. In fact, he might have been with me almost everywhere because you could fast travel with him. Victor is a hilarious robot that's just roaming around, and he's got some screw loose, and he is a great. But he's the one who says, right? I even have it in my notes here. He works for Mr. House, but he knows the ghoul's role in that. He's like, well, you were there, you know what happened.
Yeah,
like they were talking about like all the contingencies and Coop. I'm gonna call it the ghoul Coop. Ghoul Coop. He like knows what he his part in it, right? But like they don't know. But he's said enough. Like, enough has happened in this world. So, like, what aren't they, what are they going to reveal? I mean, I already know.
Sure.
That's the thing that's like, but I don't know how they're going to get there.
Exactly. That's what keeps it interesting.
In the game, you don't know how what happens actually happened. There is no Coop or anything like that. So that's going to be like, I think, that big mystery. And then, like he rescues Lucy. Was that John Grise at the NCR camp? The one who was playing with the
The one who was
porcupine.
playing with the thing. I think so. Yes, I was trying to figure out where he was, but yes, I think you are right there. Playing with the squirrel.
Yeah, I think that was him. That's Uncle Rico, right?
Yeah.
Amongst other things. Okay. All right. Just making sure. I thought that was really cool that for some reason John Grise is just there.
Everybody wants
we
to be
know
in it.
who.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's old. He's old enough now that even the Napoleon Dynamite fans probably don't recognize him like dorks like I do that go. He was in season 2 of the X-Files called Sleepless, and he plays a diner a dishwasher who was once in Vietnam and hasn't slept in 20 years. And he was played by John Grise. Before we end, though, we've got our last scene the last bit where first Xander and Maximus find a couple of robots out in the middle of nowhere. Let's go do it. This is what we do. And I got so distracted by what was going on. I was like, oh, cool. They're taking out some robots. It's a fun they're screwing around. They're broing it up. Like he's got this cool weapon that's in the game that you can make.
Right.
That was really cool. Actually, it was really, really cool seeing that. Like, same as when I saw her with the chain blade before. I was like, oh, there's so many things you could do with that. But this was just this really fun scene, and it took me though the second viewing to realize, like, I already know where they're going, but the first time I watched it, I didn't put it 2 and 2 together that the robot was the defenses that Ghoul dude at the beginning said
was
they
talking
had.
about. Yes. He's protecting his people.
Yeah. So I was like, it made me like him even more. Like he's actually protecting all of this. And they go in there, and that's when Xander really shows his true colors. And he's not even mean about it. He's just, this is just how it is, but he also enjoys it.
Well, that's it. He's
that last bit where
it.
you realize he enjoys this. Now you knew he enjoyed fighting robots and things like that, but shooting a bunch of children, ghouls or not, is horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh,
these are children. It's okay to kill.
Yeah. Move over here. The smooth skin. Like it was a really creepy scene. If Kumail must have had like problems with this, where it's like, I'm in a scene where I have to separate children, some of whom I'm about to gun down.
I would imagine that he just channels probably some of the shit that he has gotten, and he's just like, I'm gonna play the little fuckers that I had to deal with, Yeah.
But just like in the game, can't kill kids. I know, because they tried. They were
shame on you.
Hey, to be fair, they were evil.
They were feral children, sure, I understand.
But they didn't let me do it. I had to try. They were trying to kill me.
You gotta see what the game allows you to do. I understand that.
Yeah. It wasn't like I went there looking to shoot you. Oh my god. Anyway, hi. Rocket powered hammer to the head.
Sure.
I guess I just, with Maximus's ability to say, "Oh, I'll just kill him. Well, I'll just do this. I'll just do that." I had to watch it again the second time because I was like, "Man, why didn't he just push him or something? Like, why is the move?" But it's the show. The show always pushes him into that. I have no other choice but to just kill.
Right. I have to stop him. That's the only way to do
it. He does let the real truth out, which is we want the cold fusion. We need it. We're having a terrible time. How did we know you have it? We don't know. There's more to that, which I can't wait. This world is so big. There's so many places to go. But hey, you could get, steal it basically for us, and then we could avoid all this bloodshed. You'll die. I'll be a hero. That's really what it is. He's not getting out of there. He might be able to get it to him, but he ain't living. He's not living through it. And even if Xander lived through this,
Oh no! Again, it's there. Everybody is telling him exactly what Maximus wants to hear in order to try and get him to do what they want, and he's discovering that. And and I love how this really was brought around. That his first idea is, well, if this guy's a problem, why don't we just kill him? No, it will start a war. That he understands, and by the end, he has to kill him, and he knows that's about to start a war. It's like, what's he going to go back? Oh, no, like Titus, it was an accident. I just go out with other knights and they die. How do you explain that? The only thing he might be able to do is explain, like, hey, he said he wanted the cold fusion and wanted me to steal it, and I wasn't gonna do that. So, he's so screwed.
I mean, they could. Yeah.
But it is. It puts him exactly in the position he proposed early on. So no, it's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
But how does it? To me, that's what's interesting. Will this end up bringing all of our characters together? I don't know.
Yep.
I do want to touch on, before we close things out, a couple of things. One, I mean, we've talked about the Westworld abilities that they have with this. It is the same creative team, and the music, if it hasn't reminded you all of Westworld, it should, because it is the exact same composer who did Westworld, which is why we get a lot of those same audio beats. Ramin
Cool.
Djawadi. Yeah, sorry if I am butchering that. But that's always cool, because when he rescues Lucy and you just see the shadow go over her body and the music cues up, it's like such a Western feel to it. I love that. And again, even that it's not a victory and it's not even apologetic. He's like, this is what we have to do, and maybe it's the right choice, maybe it's the wrong choice. Kind of like what we find with Maximus. Kind of had to do this. Is it the right choice? Is it the wrong choice? I guess we'll find out. Maybe something smart, maybe something stupid.
Either way, it's episode 3. We still got at least 5 episodes to go, and I'm loving that. That means 5 more weeks. That means February,
yeah.
We're gonna make it to February with a good show, and we'll see what happens after that. Hopefully A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is at least entertaining.
Yeah, the book moved well, so I'm fingers crossed.
Yeah. But that brings us to the close of another episode. And I knew we were going to be talking about this one for a while. We're still doing pretty good. We're just under an hour. But I knew that there was meat on the bones of this one. From all the great lines and performances and scenes and themes, this show just keeps nailing it on every single level. And it's an adaptation, which just says right off the bat that it shouldn't be this good. Just shouldn't be this good. But it is. And you and I have been able to talk pretty much back to back to back, good shows. So it's we've been lucky.
Yeah, very much so.
Where we're not having to talk about, this is great when we don't have to worry about talking about Secret Invasion or anything like that.
Well, that's why I've done less shows, because I don't like harping. This is the type of show that I want to talk about. This
want to know
Pluribus, just things that have so much so much you can dig into and is inspirational. I mean, hey, because of this show, I went ahead, dived in because of the end of year sales. I just was able to pick up Fallout 3 and New Vegas for under $10 for both of those. So by the time we get season 3, I should have a lot more lore under my belt. I'm really looking forward to it.
Ooh, yeah. I keep wanting to go back to Fallout. I haven't played. but they don't have them. Like 3 and New Vegas, I think both are stream only, so I can't broadcast it. So the only one I can do is Fallout 4.
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know how they haven't ported them to be backwards compatibility, but it's their PS3 game, so that's the problem that we're running into. But who knows? Fallout 5 maybe someday, because I'm not playing 76.
Well, the other thing is scour the internet and see if you can pick up a couple of hard copies in the old PS3 version. Somebody might have them. You might be able to get.
Yeah, no, but I don't have anything to play them on.
Oh, okay.
You can't put the discs in the PS5 and they won't work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing is, why don't you want me to have, like, why don't you want me to have the game? You know, like, well, I would gladly pay you for this game so that I can play it with my, show it with my friends. Either way, it's not that big a deal. Well, it's just fun to like show those kind of games off to friends, like diving into a world with all those choices and stuff.
Well, especially something as meaty as that. I mean,
yeah. I've never done an all evil version of Fallout 3. I can't. Every time I try, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't know why. It's like it just feels so unnatural. The only thing that I've ever been okay with doing is doing a renegade run through on Mass Effect. That's about as good, as far as bad as I ever get in a game.
Oh, and that's
the darkest timeline in our Baldur's Gate campaign where we killed everyone.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah.
Well, I did actually just a couple hours before we get on the air here finish Mass Effect 3 finally, the whole legendary bit. So I'm excited.
Enjoy that last fight.
Oh man, I enjoyed the whole thing. I don't know what crap people were giving. I mean, it's a different story. Maybe like,
I just meant that last fight, man, with the wave after wave after wave of guys.
Yeah, no, that was a fun one. That was a good way to wrap everything up. So,
yeah.
No, definitely. That's why I'm like, dude, I'll go back to more of the PS3, Xbox 360 era. Those were the best games, and that's what I'm going to dive in and waste all my time with.
All right. Well, folks, we will be back next week for episode 4 of the Fallout Season 2 series. I know we're going to make some time to record some stuff for the Outer Rim pretty soon. And as soon as I have some real actual free time to sit down and record, not do a live stream or something that I already planned, I'll do the Mighty 9 finale. And then after that, I don't know what's going on. We've been playing a lot of games, but now I'm in this like weird holding pattern. I don't know what to play next because some of the games that I want to play, I don't really want to broadcast because it's just me grinding.
Sure.
So once I figure something out, we'll be playing more games as usual. So if you made it this far again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Go over to Darrin's channel at D's Reviews and our channel, The Outer Rim. Not a Star Wars podcast, but we do talk about Star Wars sometimes. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Keep going. Wait a minute. I love to hear you laugh, buddy. I love to hear you laugh.